Dear children, welcome back to our 7th class English online classes. Now we had completed 2 classes. Did you understand, children? I was explaining about Chatham Island. There we saw birds, iguanas, and tortoise. Today we will study the third part of this lesson. Let us begin with the last part of Chatham Island. I will read for you. As we approached, one was eating a cactus. The other gave a grumpy hiss and walked away. I tried riding its back, though the tortoise didn't seem at all concerned or even aware that I was perched on its shell. I was unable to balance and kept slipping off and landing with a thump. Midshipman King also had a go at riding the tortoise, but he ended up sprawled in an inelegant heap just as I had. Here we can find out one of the tortoise, and it was eating a cactus. The other gave a grumpy hiss and walked away. Now see the reaction of one of the tortoise. It just made some noise and walked away from that place. Now, see, the boy was trying to sit on its back, and the tortoise was not even bothered that someone was sitting on its back. In this picture, we can see how the boy is trying to sit on its back, but the tortoise is not at all bothered of it. Then, what was happening with this boy, children? We all know how the shell of a tortoise look. It all slanting this way and that way. So when the boy was trying to sit on its back, he came down with a thump. After that, who was trying next? Midshipman King. Midshipman means an officer in the Royal Navy. He also tried to sit on the back of the tortoise, but he also came down on the ground. It is written he ended up sprawled in an inelegant heap. Inelegant means without grace. He's an officer, no? That's why it is written. Now, students, this is all about Chatham Island. And the species Charles Darwin and his team members came across over here. Next, we will move to the Albemarle Island. On Albemarle Island, we came across a second species of iguana. In contrast to its cousin on Chatham Island, this is a land-based reptile. Over here, children, they came across a second species of iguana. But it was not similar to the one on the Chatham Island. There they met seagoing iguanas, but here we will see land-based reptile. So you are clear, no? These species of iguanas are land-based reptiles only. Next, what he is telling about this iguana? Like a seagoing iguana on Chatham Island, this land-based iguana also unaccustomed to people. That is, they are also not afraid of the human beings. Now see what is happening here. Mr. Darwin watched one of them burying itself in a burrow. When it was halfway underground, he pulled its tail. The iguana emerged to see what the matter was. See, children, who is pulling this iguana's tail? Mr. Darwin. He was watching the iguana burying itself in a burrow. Burrow means a hole in the ground, small hole you can see in the picture. When it was about to reach halfway, Mr. Darwin pulled its tail. Then the iguana just emerged out. It emerged out from the hole to see what actually the matter was or who is disturbing him from going inside the hole. It clearly wanted to know what was impeding its progress, and it stared hard at Mr. Darwin. but it was not frightened. Children, what is the meaning of this word impede? To hinder or obstacle. When it emerged out of the hole, it stared hard at Mr. Darwin. For what? Just ask him, why are you disturbing me? Means that I am not a thing to play. They were not afraid of human beings, or they don't know to fear people. Now students, this is all about Albemarle Island. So second island, Albemarle Island. So what all things these team members they saw that now we studied. Next we will study about the last island. What's the name of that island? James Island. Now see that paragraph what is written. James Island was the last island we visited. Mr. Darwin was particularly interested in the finches. Their habits were varied. Some of them lived on cacti and some on insects and leaves. Some stayed on the ground while others lived on the trees. Mr. Darwin had them all sketched. He would lay out the sketches and point out the way they all had beaks suited to their particular diet. Some had long, pointy beaks, while others had shorter, heavier ones. He sat watching the wildlife and smiled. Students, you must be thinking that what are these finches? Finches means small resident birds with colorful feathers. Can see these birds in this picture. So over here Mr. Darwin was interested to these birds. He wanted to know more about their eating and living habits. For that he was observing these birds. He learned that the different birds have different habits. Some of them were living on the cactus, while some of them are living on insects and leaves. That means they used to eat cactus, insects or leaves. There some of the birds were interested to live on the ground and some of them were interested to live in the trees. Mr. Darwin had them all sketched. It is written, Mr. Darwin had them all sketched. Now, what the narrator tells us that Mr. Darwin was so much interested that he sketched all the birds in sketchboard. Again, he is very minutely observing the structure of these birds, the beak of these birds, and their eating habits. He found out that some have long pointed beaks, while others have shorter, heavier beaks suited to their food. Last of this paragraph, the narrator is saying that Mr. Darwin smiled. Do you know, children, why he was smiling while watching the wildlife? Is there any reason behind that? Because he had come there to watch, to study the wildlife, and now he was admiring the beauty of the wildlife. So he was smiling. Now let us move to the last paragraph. As we sailed away, see last paragraph, 7th paragraph, I'll read it for you. As we sailed away from the island, some of the officers told Mr. Darwin that they had seen different birds and tortoises on different islands. This has provided him food for thought. He calls the Galapagos the land that time forgot. I have a feeling it's a land he will remember all his life. See, when they were going away from this island, some of the members told Mr. Darwin that they had seen different birds and tortoises in these islands. Not only this, many things they have seen. Now, what is the meaning of food for thought? It means that Mr. Darwin got something to think on very seriously. He calls the Galapagos the land that time forgot. They are just away from our land and no human company could be found at that place. As the narrator says that Mr. Darwin never be able to forget such a land, such a group of islands in his lifetime. See, in this lesson, we had studied three islands: Chatham Island, Almal Island, and James Island. Now you are clear, no? These islands. Dear children, I will show you some of the words and the meanings of these words. First one, cinders. The ashes from the coarse lava erupted by volcanoes. Second, a midshipman, an officer in the Royal Navy. Next, inelegant, without grace. Finches, small resident birds with colorful plumages. Food for thought, something worth seriously thinking about. Just write it down and learn the meanings. I hope you all understood this lesson. So that is all for you today. Thank you. We will meet again. Stay in, stay safe.